And we are live. Let's go, guys. What's the guy said? It is Momentum Monday. Let's go. All right. So today, what we're gonna, so it's gonna be a little quick one, right? So in about 25 minutes, we're all gonna hop on to Daniel Dimacali's global webinar, right? So, which is amazing every month, right? So he always goes over quick little overview of that. He's gonna go over all the new announcements, right, for the past month, the upcoming events, and basically like how to basically set ourselves up for the upcoming year, right? So he is, he does amazing. He's gonna kill it. So I'm excited for that. So we're gonna go. I don't need to really share my screen, honestly, this one. So, but basically, so I kind of what I want to focus on for this one. I want to share this quote real quick. So I read a really great quote the other day, right? Well, I actually heard it. I was listening to Building the Empire, right, by Brian Carruthers. Is something that we should all be kind of living by, right? I mean, Building an Empire, that's literally like the holy, like, he gives it to us, right, step by step on what to do and how to do it, So so this quote, though, right, I'll drop in the chat right now too as soon as I say it, but this is something that really stood out to me because I was like, yo, this is what we do, this is literally how we should be building this business, right? And it's basically how people really end up buying things and feeling good about it, right? So he says, Brian Carruthers says, right, people will sell themselves on the need for what you want them to buy, and then you can just let them buy it, right? So they're gonna sell themselves on the need they want, on why they want to buy it, and then they're gonna buy it, right? But they'll be more likely to find reasons to like what they bought versus finding remorse for what they were sold, right? So because and this goes back to the saying that nobody likes to buy things, right? I mean, everybody likes to buy things, but nobody likes to be sold, right? Nobody likes to be sold something, That's why the moment a sales pitch occurs, people kind of start retreating right away, right? It's like they kind of start backing up because nobody likes to be sold anything, right? It's just it's in our nature. We like choices, right? We like to make our own choices and to really make a decision that that we feel that we had complete control of and that we had power and what's going to happen because of that decision, right? So, and this is basically, so I chose this quote to talk about because this really stood out to me because this is literally what we do, right? So, for example, when it comes to our product, right, in general, like this is what we do, right? We basically like, we throw our lines, right? And in between that, it's really about trying to attract this person into our lives, right? Into our opportunity, into our business, what we have. But, so it's like, it kind of goes back to attraction marketing versus like, just like the shark approach, right? Always trying to just get people and get people and get people. It's really about when you want to attract people, right? And so we do that by literally like kind of like laying the bait, right? And then making and then putting them into a position where they're gonna decide for themselves that they're gonna buy it, right? Versus like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get this because you completely sold me 100%, right? I mean, like, some people, hey, like that's how it's gonna be, but for the most part, nobody, like I said, nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to buy things, right? Because we're all buyers, regardless, right? I mean, regardless of whether or not we buy this or we buy that or we don't buy this or we don't buy that, everybody's still a buyer to a certain extent, right? We still spend money, everybody does it. So it's like, it's just getting to that point where we realize that, hey, you know what? It's like we want people to feel comfortable when they make their decisions. So it's kind of like eliminating buyer's remorse, right? I'm sure you guys heard that before, right? Buyer's remorse, where basically like, and this always occurs like in I would say large purchases for sure, right? Anytime the consumer is spending a large amount of money on something, well, like more than the average, I would say, right? I mean, $5,000, guys, in the grand scheme of things, $4,000 is not a lot of money, right? It's not, right, in the grand scheme of things. But depending on the person and where you are in life and how many points you have, like how much money you got in the bank, whatever, that's going to determine how much, if that's a lot or if that's a little or if that's just, that's perfect amount for what that is, right? So, but yeah, so and you want to basically like eliminate that, right? Eliminate the buyer's remorse and make them feel comfortable. Like get them to the point where they're hitting you up. They're like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to buy that machine. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how I gotta do it. I don't care, whatever I gotta do. I want to get it because because I want to buy it now, right? I sold myself, and that's literally how it happens, right? And just think back to even like when you guys joined, right? So for example, I remember back when I joined, right? I mean, like I had, you know, I probably thought about it for like 3 weeks straight, right? The point is that's still time. Whether it's 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, the point is like we still typically need time to think about it, and that time frame is only like basically used to further sell ourselves on the product, right? Because at the end of the day, like nobody really makes a decision for us. Like we get influenced by other people as far as like the decision that we should make or that we end up making to begin with. But it's like at the end of the day though, like we are, because of the influence and whatever's going on around us is what causes us to make that decision, right? Whether or not to buy or not to buy. Okay. So and so it's like, but it gets to the point where we have to sell ourselves. Like for me, like I sold myself on literally buying this machine because like, yo, this is the healthiest water in the world, right? I need this for my family. You know, I could totally make something out of this opportunity, right? And so it's something that I wanted. I, you know, went through a whole process of watching videos and talking to myself and like becoming a believer in the product, right? And so eventually it gets to the point where I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy this. Like, you're not selling me. I'm buying. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already sold. You don't have to sell me. I'm buying this regardless. I'm buying this because I want to buy it, you know? And so yeah, right. It's like Jessica said, we love buying things that we think were our idea to buy, right? Where it's like basically it's like exactly, you know, it's like where nobody wants to really be sold on it. It's like it's getting to the point where like, hey, you know what? I'm making this decision because like I came up with it, right? It's something that I thought of, right? Even though it might not have been the case, but it's getting people to that point and planting that seed where it's like, you know what, like letting them like see it for themselves, right? Letting them see the vision, see why they need it so bad, and how this can really help them, right? But like I said, it's just getting them to that point. Okay, so and this really leads back to the way we approach people too. You know, for example, it's like right, we don't do the shark approach, right? We do the more of the fisherman approach where we want to throw our lines, right? And in between, like waiting for the bait, we're gonna use all types of different attraction tactics, right? Ways to get attention, ways to get more traffic our way, right? Just so our bait can be seen by more people, right? And eventually, the right person is gonna come by and like latch on, right? But you know, it takes going through the numbers, going through the people, right, to in order to find that. But you know, it's just it's more than just like having to go out ourselves and look for it. It's just like obviously that's gonna happen in between. So in between, you know, like trying to attract people, you're gonna be out too in the playing field, right? You're gonna be reaching out to people, like dropping comments, liking photos, and all that stuff. Whether you're you're out in public, you know, maybe you find ways to start a conversation with somebody. You know, find out if they're on social media. You know, find out whatever, right? If they're local to you, stuff like that. You know, so but like I said, it's just getting to that point where it's just like overcoming that, like I said, the buyer's remorse, because it's just making people feel good about their decision on getting this machine, right? Because like I said, that's how it was for me, right? I remember like I literally had to sell myself, right? So that was a great quote, right? I said that I wanted to share with you guys. And then so also too, there was also another quote that kind of stood out to me that I wanted to share with you guys too. So this one right here is by Jim Rohn, right? One of my favorite mentors, and just business and life coach of all time, right? So he says that we have so this is the exact quote: "You have enough intelligence, but not enough reason, right? Reasons can change your life, right?" And that quote right there, well, I was like, whoa, and that really profound to me because that's so true, right? Is that everybody has like, not everybody, but most people have all the intelligence, right? They know what to do. They know what it takes. They know the steps they got to do. They know where they need to go and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, if your reasons are not outweighing your excuses on not to act, right, you're not going to act. You're not going to do nothing, right? Because reasons are what give you the motive, right? So it's what puts you in motion to actually go out there and, you know, accomplish your goals, right? To go out there and talk to people, to prospect, to give out water, to build your business, to share videos, to build relationships, to ask questions, right? Stuff like that, right? You have to have a strong enough reason, okay? And so, and all of us do, right? We all have a very strong why as far as why we're doing this, you know? But it's like it gets to the point where we want to instill that belief into other people, right? We want to instill our reasons for what we're doing into others so they can see why we're doing what we're doing, right? Because once they understand why we're doing what we're doing, it starts to make sense on their end as far as like how they can relate this to their lives or how they can make a difference, in the course of where they're headed, right? So, but because reasons, right? The reasons is what literally carries the day on your end, right? It's what gets you out of bed. It's what takes you to work. It's what it's what gets you on phone calls with people. It's what gets you to actually reach out. It's what gets you to make posts. It's your reasons, your why for doing what you're doing, right? And until you build up a strong enough reasons, that actually makes sense to you and that something that you think about daily and that you can look at daily and that you believe in on a daily basis, right? Until you get to that point, you're not gonna take much action, right? Because if your excuses outweigh your reasons, you're gonna stay stagnant, right? And we do not want to stay stagnant in life for sure. But so, like I said, it's just getting to that point, right, where we want to make people feel like they're in control, right? We want to make people, but the trick is making people feel like they're in control. Wow, sorry, excuse me. While still maintaining control the entire time, right? And that's literally by showing interest, right? Asking the right questions, qualifying people and making sure this is the right fit for them. This is the right product. It can actually help them. They can afford it, stuff like that, right? So it's about really like assessing your prospects, right? To a very good extent, and because what I found is that throughout the past year and a half is that most people, that it gets to the point where I share information, I share water, I follow up, I do the thing, I do it all I gotta do. And then it's like, some people, it's like, hey, like they're gonna hit you up, like when they're ready, because like it's like it's gonna take time, right? It's gonna take time for them to process why this makes sense for them to get it, and so until then, right, it's like the best thing you can do is just follow up, drop in every now and then, share more information, share any new updates you got, whether it's in your company, whether it's like, a new achievement in your life, a new whatever it may be, a new circumstance, whatever. It's just following up, building a relationship, right? And then like just letting them know that like, hey, like this is actually like it's taking off, like it's going somewhere, right? But yeah, and because once you do that, right, they're gonna end up reaching out to you, and then they're gonna start asking more questions, right? And it's like, and then it's like once it gets to that point where they're asking so many questions and they start submerging themselves in information, they're in the process of selling themselves, right? And so it's like at that point, all we need to do is be the guide to the information, the bridge to the to a video, the bridge to the webinar, a bridge to the meetings, a bridge to the three-way call, whatever it may be, just to keep fulfilling their desires to want more information, right? So and that's literally, like I said, that's honestly one of the best things we can do is basically letting people feel like that I'm in control. I'm making this decision for myself because it's best thing for my health, for my family, for my finances, right? So that's the best thing we can do as literally as trying to influence people to make the right decisions, right? And so, and like I said, right, and all this really leads back to your reasons, right? Because if without, like I said, strong reasons, you're not gonna even go out and prospect. You're not gonna go out and talk to people. You're not gonna go out and strategically or consciously ask questions, right? Or just even network, whatever it may be, right? You're not gonna do it if you don't have the right reasons, right? And so another great quote too that I want to share with you guys. This is really gonna be, like I said, it's quick, so I'm sharing a lot of quotes and I'm sharing insight on like on what I feel about this stuff and kind of like on the direction that we need to go, right? So, but this is another quote by Brian Carruthers, and he says, right, as we let our own light shine, we subconsciously give permission to others to do the same, right? Amazing, right? That's an amazing quote because basically he's saying that the more confident we become in our product and our services and what we do, right, we're literally giving power to others to do the same. Meaning that those who are watching us, those who open our stuff constantly, those who we talk to on a daily, those who we see on a daily, right? Whatever it may be, the more we let our own light shine, the more confident we are in what we do, the more belief we have, right? The more we put ourselves out there, we're literally giving permission to those people who maybe can't do it for themselves without having the right motivation, or those people who just like who aren't there yet. We're giving them permission to do the exact same thing, right? It's instilling belief into other people, and it's really like developing that influence, right? And letting them know that, hey, you know what, like this is the what I'm doing, right, may or may not be for you, but it's working for me, and I know that I have great results because of it, right? Um, and it's showing people that, you know what, like we're like, basically you want to be a real life example to whatever you're trying to portray, to whatever image or whatever you're trying to portray, right? So uh but yeah, so that was a really great quote that I heard, you know. And it's like, and because that's really what this is, guys. At the end of the day, even because you can do it all right, you can do it all right, you can show people all the videos, you can tag them in the Facebook groups, you can ATM them, you can get them on three-way call, you can get them on a webinar, you can do all this stuff, right? You can do it all. You can do the whole process, but until you develop the right amount of basically influence, right? The right amount of until you build up your own like energy to shine through them, right? Until we get to that point where like that our belief in what we do is so strong that it's just contagious, right? That when people are around us, they feel the same way. They feel just as confident. They feel just as sure, right? They feel just as basically safe in the decision that they're making, right? And it's because of our own belief, you know. And so the more we continue to shine, the more we continue to put more of ourselves out there, right? People are going to start to pick up on on those frequencies, on those behavior, you know, on our actions and on our moves and on all our emotions, all that stuff. They're going to pick up on it, and they're going to basically start adopting it for their own, right? They're going to be like, hey, you know what? Tony's super confident. Tony's a boss, right? Tony's out there crushing it. She's talking to all these people doing this and that, right? I can do it too, you know, because I know Tony, and you know, it's like, and I can relate to Tony, or you know, Daniel's doing, you know, Jessica, whoever it may be, right? It's like once they see it shining through you, it helps them to mirror it through themselves, right? And to see themselves shining, right? So it's like but you know, so which is why we have to keep developing our own confidence, right? Our own influence, our own discipline, our own character, right? Our own communication techniques, you know, to really get our point across, right? And so but yeah, and I say these three quotes, I want to share this because it all kind of ties in, right? Because you know, the more we let our own light shine through us, the more belief we're instilling in other people to really make a decision to become a buyer or to buy, right? The more confidence that we give off, right? We're giving them power to literally make a decision, to finally step out of the, okay, you know what, I'm thinking about it stage, to where, you know what, I'm making a decision because this is the right move for me, right? I'm finally going to do it, right? I'm finally going to buy. I finally made up my mind. This is totally the right move for me, right? And so it's just like I say, and so we do that, right, by literally raising our own confidence, our own belief, you know, and letting people know that, hey, is that like you can do this, you know. And to all of that though, like all of that occurs only through a strong reason, right? Having a strong why. Because if you don't have a strong why, you don't have a strong reason for doing what you're doing, you're not gonna keep doing what you're doing, you know. You're gonna get started, and you know it's not gonna go as well in the beginning as you thought it was. You're gonna get discouraged, right? And you're gonna quit. That's what happens, right? When people don't start seeing results right away, and without a strong enough reason, without a strong enough why, people quit, right? Because you know, and it happens. People quit. Oh, you know, and it's not like it's not the business, it's not the opportunity, it's not the comp plan, it's the individual. It's the individual who literally can't see it happening for themselves, or can't develop the right discipline to put themselves in a position where they can envision a better future for themselves, right? So, and that's literally what it comes down to, you know. So, which is why having a strong reason, a strong belief is so important. It starts with that, you know. But unless we are capable of being able to influence people to get to that point where they can believe it for themselves, right? Till we get our own light shine through us into them, you know. Unless we can get to that point, then it's hard to get people to buy things from you, right? No matter what you're selling, you can be selling a $1 product, $5 product. It don't matter what it is. Price isn't the issue. Price is never the issue, right? For these machines, Price is not the issue. I promise you it's not, you know. What's the issue is getting people to see the value in things, right? And we do that by instilling our belief, you know, again, shining our own belief through people, right? Developing our influence, you know, and it's just, and making them feel like a buyer, right? Giving them the power to actually make a decision instead of like selling them something, making them feel like they were sold something, right? I mean, you guys, like, for example, like, you know, the moment you walk into a car dealership, you get rushed by like by the salesman, right away, right? Which is like, and they want to know like, hey, what's up? What you doing? Da, da, da. What if, even if you want just to walk in real quick, take a look, you know, without being bothered, they're still going to approach you regardless, right? And so immediately, right, the person that gets approached goes into the fence mode, right? Because why? They feel like they're already trying to be sold something. And they know that. They walk into a dealership, the salesperson's walking at them, coming their way. They're like, oh, dang, I'm about to be sold a car. I'm about to be sold something. They're going to try to tell me what to do, right? Nobody likes that, right? And that's why later on, that's how buyer's remorse occurs, because then they're like, dang, you know what? That salesperson was really good. That person was dope. I connected with them. They were tight. They were awesome. But man, I feel so bad about what I bought. You know, I spent a lot of money. I don't know if it was the right decision or not. It made me feel good at the time, but now I don't know. I'm not so sure, you know, because basically like they didn't feel like they even made the decision themselves, you know? So it's like, but if you let them literally buy it from you, if you let them buy it because you shared enough information, you built a strong enough relationship, you built good enough rapport, you shared videos, you got them on a webinar, you got them on a three-way call, you do all that stuff, and you built, like I said, a strong enough relationship, right? And they're just gonna buy it. They're gonna buy it from you. They're gonna be happy to buy it. They're gonna want to buy it. They're gonna be like, yo, take my credit card number, take my debit card number, right? Take it from me. You know, because they want it that bad, because they finally made the decision that they're going to buy it. And when people, the thing is, when people get to the decision where they finally made the decision to buy, nothing's stopping them. Nothing's going to stop them from buying it. Nothing, right? When I want something and I know I want it, I'm going to get it. Nothing's going to stop me from getting it, right? If I know I can afford it and I know it's for me and I want it that bad, I'm going to buy it because I already sold myself on buying it, right? And nothing's going to stop me until I get it, you know? And that's how most people act, right? So, with this machine, when I got my K8, guys, that's how it was. I became a buyer. I sold myself. I wanted to buy it. I told myself I was going to buy it. I saw myself buying it, so I bought it. And nothing was going to stop me until I bought it, you know? And that's literally what it is, you know? And it's like, but, you know, we have to instill that same belief into other people, right? It's letting them know that, hey, you know what? This is cool. This is fine, right? It's you're just making a purchase, right? This is for your health. It's going to help you, you know? Like, this business can change your life, you know, like stuff like that. But until we develop our own influence, until we basically generate a brighter light within ourselves, right, that radiates from ourselves, you know, because, you know, and like especially with this, guys, like this is a huge investment for a lot of people. So like, you know, they don't want to get into it feeling like they're alone here, right? Like your belief is comforting, guys. It's comforting to them knowing that, hey, you know what, like, Jessica bought it, I'm going to get it. Tony bought it, I'm going to get it. Daniel bought it, I'm going to get it. Kevin bought it, I'm going to get it, you know? And it's like, why? Because you guys showed enough courage and you showed enough faith and you showed enough discipline to actually care about your health enough that that's inspiring others to want to do the same, right? So, but, you know, it's like I said, it's a process, right? It's getting people. So I guess the main focus is, I'm going to wrap this up in 2 minutes because the webinar, Daniel and McCauley's global webinar is coming up. So, but the main thing I want you guys to get from this, guys, is that you have to get a person from being sold to wanting to buy from you, to buy your product, to buy your machine. They want it so bad, right? Get to that point, right? It has to get to that point, you know. Did it get canceled? What? Let's see. Anybody got any? It did get canceled? See. Okay. I guess it did. Awesome. I know that. Yeah, I know they had talked about it, right? They announced it earlier. Double check that. Anybody got any? I don't know.
Yeah, they did.
They did cancel it.
Canceled it.
Giordano canceled it.
Well, I don't know if he canceled it, but he announced it. It says no webinar tonight! Exclamation point. The next will be October.
Oh,
And then
okay.
Michael Brummer said, "Oh no, what happened? Daniel never misses his webinars," and nobody said anything after that about that.
Okay. Well, all right, cool.
I wonder
So
why.
there's no webinar tonight. Maybe, honestly, just sounded pissed. She's like, "There's no fucking webinar." Like,
What the hell?
Oh, you big heated. Let's go. Hey. Okay. That's not a problem at all. So, which is fine, right? Because whatever, I totally had this plan for we can hop on the webinar, but that's fine. So it's gonna happen next month, right? So he's gonna which, like I said, most of it he goes over updates and stuff like that. Maybe because of the holiday, maybe I don't know. That's why he didn't do it. Who knows? But awesome, guys. So I mean, well, in that case, it'll be a short little call today. You know, so this is really what I want to go over. Because I think this is important because we don't want to like try to sell people things, right? We want to influence people. I would say the best thing to do is instead of selling somebody something, influence somebody to become a buyer and to buy the right things. You know what I'm saying? Like influence somebody to become a buyer, right? And to really buy this for them because they need it. Because they know they need it. They've already convinced themselves they need it, you know, they sold themselves already. So it's like that's really the main thing, right? Because like, you know, I was a buyer, Jessica, you were a buyer, Tony, you were a buyer, Daniel, you were a buyer for sure, bro. You were already sold. Kevin, you were a buyer for sure. You guys were already sold, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, you know what I'm saying? We were all sold from the start. We made up our minds already that I'm going to buy this. Nobody's going to tell me different because I'm buying it. Nobody sold me. I'm buying it. I'm a buyer, you know? And so it's like, it's getting to, like I said, once we can get somebody to that point, they're for sure going to buy it. You know, literally education and understanding. That's the core of what we do, right? Eric Worre literally preaches this, right? Education and understanding, right? We educate people on the product, on our services, on the opportunity, on the business, on the trend, right? On the health benefits. We educate people on all that and get them to understand why this makes sense, why it's the right move, why it's for them, and why they should buy. You know, so that's it, guys. You know, but it's like it's developing our right amount of influence. You know, so influence. I'm actually I do want to I want to do like a whole training. Not probably not a whole training, but probably next week I want to focus a lot on that. And just really like kind of go into different things. I know like for example like John Maxwell, he has a whole thing on the literally like the law of influence, you know, and so I'm probably gonna be covering that, you know, and because only because this is huge, it's just so huge, it's a staple in what we do, right? Because like I said, our belief, guys, our belief literally influences people to make the right decisions, right? And it's because like our intentions are pure, right? We know what's best for others, right? Because of our own personal experiences, you know? And so that's it, you know? Like it's just, but in that, it's just so important though, because without it, guys, we cannot get people to agree with us. We can't get people to see our ways, you know? And to really, like I said, do things that are in their own best interest because we know that it's in their best interest, you know? But guys, like it's just I'm super excited, you know, because like this is something that I feel like it definitely comes natural to all of us because we just like it's only because like we have good intentions, right? And it's like when you have good intentions, you know, it's like you're really gonna your actions are always gonna follow, you know. And so that she said, yep, I'm currently reading the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. Influence is so important. Exactly, right? It is though, right? Because influence is leadership. Leadership is influence, you know. And then because with that umbrella of influence, right, it is where all this other stuff occurs, right? It's where you know it's just getting people to you know to basically do the right thing, you know, and make the right decision, right? So that's the most important thing I want you guys to take away from this is that it's just really you want to turn people to being sold into buying, right? That and you know that's gonna happen. You're gonna be able to accomplish that through a strong enough reason, right? Through your own personal reason, your own strong why to actually go out and take the right amount of action, right? So that's huge, right? And then and through all of this, right, it's gonna be achieved, but also too by having our own light shine through others, right? And instilling the belief that what's possible for me is possible for you, right? Because it's possible for all of us, right? You know, this reason why we're all here right now, you know, because we believe in ourselves, you know, we believe that we can do this, we believe that we can achieve it, and we believe that we can do anything, right? That we set our minds to, you know. So But like once we trust in the process, believe in the process, you know, and know that it can happen, anything can happen, right? So, but yeah, guys, so that's really all I have for tonight. I don't know if anybody wanted to come out, maybe drop some knowledge, drop some insight. Have any questions on anything? We're open for the next couple of minutes since the call's not going. But let me know, fam, what you got?
The move is over, bro.
Hey, the move is over.
Yeah,
My man.
new place.
You all settled?
Yeah, man.
Let's,
It's weird. We went from 2,200 square foot to
right,
to 900 square feet.
dude. Wow, bro,
I'm about to pick up that $12,000 check tomorrow. So
sheesh. There we go. Hey, that's exciting, bro, for sure. So, I mean, that's like, but so as far as like space, you guys are pretty like, do you feel crammed at all, or do you feel like it's like the perfect amount of space?
I don't feel crammed. I mean, there's still lots of boxes and stuff, so it's packed in right now. But I know that once it's all gone, it's pretty cozy, and I prefer it anyways. I don't like all the space.
Hey,
You gotta clean it all. You gotta take care of all of it. I prefer a small space.
I feel it, bro. Dude, that's awesome, man. You know, like I remember how you were telling me how excited you were to make that transition, you know, because you want to live. It's just really be able to like having more like simplicity in your life, right? Be able to be more like minimalistic and stuff like that, you know. So I feel like, dude, by doing that, like it kind of takes off a mental load, huh? Like do you feel like that? You feel mentally like this, like the weight kind of shifted now?
Yeah, it's so much less stressful.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in a smaller space like this, because
Right.
then when you go from such a large area to such a small area, you inevitably have to downsize the amount of stuff you have, and so it becomes more minimalistic, and you know, eventually we'll end up in a little tiny house. So I gotta get Mariella on board a little bit at a time.
Hey, I already see it happening, bro. You manifesting, dog. You manifesting. That's what's up. Hey, so real fast, I'm just gonna end this recording so we can post this for later on. So, thanks for the amazing stuff, guys, tonight. So I'll see y'all next week.